Hey, we're doing the square root method of solving quadratics today. This is specifically used when equations in standard form, like y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. But this is a lot of people's favorite because you're just going to solve it like normal. Because in the last unit, I don't know, 3a, we use factoring. Factoring is when you have two x values and no parentheses. But in the square root method, right now we have only one x value. It also could look like something like that without the h or without the k. But in this case, we only have one x value and it's squared. So we're going to solve this like our math heart wants us to. So for instance, we're going to solve, I have to look at my thing. We're going to solve this. Ta-da! We're going to solve this problem for x. And we're going to square root in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve this like a normal algebra problem. I'm going to add 31 over here. So I get 4x squared. That cancels out. I should have done that. Equals, what is that? 80. Ugh. And then we're going to divide everything by that 4 right there, because that cancels that out. So I get that x squared equals 20. Now, I'm going to take the square root of both sides because square root undoes squared. You got that? Square root undoes squared. So just like how I added to undo the subtraction and I divided to undo the multiplication, I square root to undo the squared. So I get that x equals plus and minus whatever the square root of 20 is. Whoa, miss, what's that plus and minus doing there? What does that even mean? What is the square root of 20? Hold your horses, I got your back, okay? Chill. It's the square root of 20 because when I have something squared equals 9, well, what squared equals 9? I know that 3 times 3 equals 9. So the box could be a 3. Or negative 3 times negative 3 equals positive 9. So the box could be negative 3. Normally we don't say box, we say x, but bear with me, okay? It makes more sense in people's head when I'm filling in something rather than when I'm solving for something. So what we say instead of 3 and negative 3 is we say that box equals positive 3 or negative 3. I don't write it twice. I write the plus and minus. It means it's both. It means it's both positive and it's negative. It's both things work in that x squared. Okay, now here's the issue I have right now. In class, our calculators do the square root of 20 the way I want them to. So let me show you using the calculator. You can fast forward, I don't know how long, if you don't have one of these. So if I do square root of 20, it's going to tell me that's 2 root 5. And that's the actual honest to goodness answer that I really want from my calculator. Plus and minus 2 root 5. If your calculator gives you the decimal version instead, push this little both ways button above enter. Don't look at my nail polish. It's so chipped right now. Don't just press this both ways button and it'll change it for you. Okay, so that gets you. By the way, that also makes it so like fractions are not decimals and that vice versa. So we want it to be 2 root 5. Now here's the problem. If I use my phone calculator, do you know what it's going to do? You know, because you've done it in class before. If I do the square root of 20 in my calculator, it's going to tell me it's that decimal and there's no fixing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link you to this website. So how we're going to do this is you come over here and you do square root of 20. So we're just going to type in 20 and then press go. And at the top, it'll tell you that it's 2 root 5 and it'll give you the decimal too. So it'll do both. It'll also tell you the steps on how to rationalize it or how to make it look like this, but we don't really care that much. And don't worry about my ad on the side. That's okay. So we're going to do it that way instead of using our phone for decimals because we really, really, really want this to be in simplest radical form. So there. All right, let's do another one that's just a little bit harder. like this. 2/5 times x plus 3 squared plus 1 equals 6. It's still in vertex form, so I can still do this method, follow my art heart, do all that stuff. I'm just going to solve this like I normally would solve a math problem, even if there wasn't a squared in it. So by that, I mean I'm going to subtract the 1. I've got 2/5 times x plus 3 squared equals 5. I'm going to divide everything by 2/5. I know, right? Which leaves me with x plus 3 squared equals. Well, dividing by a fraction, we flip it over and we multiply it, or just ask your calculator nicely. You get 25/2. And then we're going to square root that because square roots undo squareds. So we get that x plus 3 equals plus and minus. It's both. Same thing over here. And then I asked my math calculator so nicely, the one over here, what that is. And I get 5√2/2. Blech. So then I get, I subtract 3 now because it's just x plus 3. Now, I can just write this on the end, but I can't combine the two because what's really happening is I'm doing positive 5√2/2 minus 3 and negative 5√2/2 minus 3. So the convention of how we write this, though, is that we do the negative first. Or sorry, we do the normal number first, and then we write the plus and minus, and then do the rest. Okay? So this is the answer in simplest radical form. I can't go any further than this, even though that same math heart really wants me to. I cannot go any further. I have started doing some more problems. It starts off easier and then it's going to get a lot harder. So look for a link in for that in the lesson format. And if you need any help, please email me. Please come to office hours. I've got your back. I'm here for you. I've got you. Okay. Next class, we're going to talk about what happens when you can't take the square root, but you actually kind of can. Welcome to Algebra 2. All right, I think that's all she wrote. Okay, bye.